One more big picture take for you here on the hires from this past Sunday. Arkansas, they made a move, jumped in the pool, made a little bit of a splash, not in the most positive way for the Arkansas faithful, in hiring Ryan Silverfield, head coach at Memphis. Now, here's my big take on this. It's okay to not have a strong opinion on Ryan Silverfield. And listen, I get it. If you're an Arkansas fan, this is not the big swing that you wanted. This isn't the big name that you wanted. This isn't the big resume that you wanted. It felt like, based on what I'm reading on the message boards, a bit of a lazy hire. Is again, based on what I'm hearing the Arkansas fan base say. There was a protest on Arkansas's campus about this hire. It sounds like it was somewhat small in terms of the actual protest of it, but it was a protest nonetheless. You just hired a head coach. Again, it's okay to not have a super strong opinion on Ryan Silverfield, because even with the way that it feels of everything I just said, quote-unquote lazy hire, quote-unquote not the big name, all those things, what are you mad about with hiring Ryan Silverfield? And I don't mean that in jest or sarcastic, like genuinely. I think what people are upset about with Ryan Silverfield is who he's not. He's not the big SEC name or the up-and-coming coordinator or the splashy hire in a positive sense. The reason why I think people are upset with Ryan Silverfield is, again, what I just said, who he's not. He's not James Franklin. He's not Alex Golesh, though, for the record, he is 3-0 against Alex Golesh, neither here nor there, if you're an Arkansas fan keeping track at home. If you were to just look at it in a vacuum, is there anything on Ryan Silverfield's resume to truly be upset about? Like, genuinely. I mean, 50-25 as a head coach, right around 68% winning percentage at Memphis. Coached Memphis for 6 years. Right, so that's a lot of football. And you're saying, well, JD, but like took over a place, was already in a pretty good spot, right? Yeah, I hear you, but also it wasn't all good vibes when he was there. You had a 2-year lull, give or take, in 2021, 2022, won like 6 or 7 games. Coached out of that lull, adapted, got his team back to where they expect to be at Memphis, winning double-digit football games. He's had not one but 2 different jobs in the NFL. I think that should mean something. If people in the NFL want you on their staff, I don't think you're bad at football. That's the first part of this. Beat Arkansas this year. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Like, you beat the school that you are now the head coach of. So if you want to hold that against him, be my guest. I'm not saying this was a home run hire. I'm not saying this is going to work. I'm not saying you need to be happy about it. Here's the other thing, too. I'm not saying the administration went about it the right way. One of the most valid frustrations I've heard is that the fan base didn't want Ryan Silverfield, and so they're frustrated that they don't feel heard. I get that. You don't feel heard by the people making decisions. I totally understand that when you're paying hard-earned money to be in the seats in Fayetteville. Like, I get that. I totally understand that. But I keep going back to this. It's okay to not have a strong opinion on this right now. Not that you have to be happy about it. Not that you have to be overwhelmingly joyful that you got Ryan Silverfield as your head coach. But I just, looking at this resume, can you tell me with definitive confidence and a definitive nature about yourself this isn't going to work? You don't have to like it, but are you telling me it's not going to? We don't know. We don't know. And so as much as I'm saying, hey, we don't know and it could work, and in some ways you if you want to be optimistic about this thing, maybe you trust the powers that be at Arkansas. Again, I'm not telling you what to do, but that'd probably be the most positive way to go about it if that's what you're looking for. Hey, Coach Silverfield, we got to win right now. Because you do not have the room behind you. There is not this court of popular opinion that you're winning in this current status in Fayetteville. And I don't even know that it's your fault. And I think you're probably fired up to have a job in Fayetteville and to be in the SEC. And 1,000%, I think it's fair to say that you've earned this, what you did at Memphis. But we gotta give this fan base something to cheer for right now. And I don't mean right now in the sense of next fall. I mean right now, like, let's go make a splash in the transfer portal. Let's go play ball and put together a roster to get the vibes back on your side, to get some optimism back in Fayetteville. Because, like, honestly, that's one of the things that I like about him. The fact that he's had to deal with NIL, with what he was doing at Memphis, with the FedEx money, and having all that backing him. Like, I like that part of it. I don't think he's going to walk into the situation and have super wide eyes and a sped up heart rate and saying, okay, wait, I got how much money to put my roster together? Oh, wait, hang on. I've never had these NIL conversations before. I don't think that'll be the world that he lives in. So, Ryan Silverfield, we got to win right now, not just on the field, but in terms of, like, the moment itself. We got to give this fan base something to chew on, something to get behind you for, and Godspeed, Ryan Silverfield, because at this point in time, there's not a lot of backing from what I can gather based on this fan base. But again, I would just ask this of the fan base. Can we give it a second to marinate? Can we choose to not have a strong opinion and to have the take that's going to win today? Can we just give it a second, let it breathe, see where this thing goes in a few months, see where you're at in spring football, see where you're at in October, and then we can maybe have a little bit more of a take on the whole Ryan Silverfield era at Arkansas. So again, I'm not telling you this is a great hire. It wouldn't have been my first choice if we're all aligned here. It was not my first choice. But even with that being said, let's let it play out. Let's let cooler heads prevail. And maybe that's a ridiculous thing to say in the world of college football, but that's how I feel about this whole thing. Right now, when it comes to where Arkansas is and the head coach they just hired.